Okay, good morning everyone. This is a session on your practical ITPs coursework. Obviously I'm recording this session, so I'm going to talk quite slowly. If you have questions, you need to just maybe say it again so we can actually record it into the video. I'll upload it instead of your lecture files onto the Blackboard. As I mentioned just a moment ago, please make sure you go onto my website. Here, this is ITPs homepage, and fill in the booking form. One question you just raised was, does everyone fill it in? No, actually one person per group fills it in, and then you must make sure your student ID is right, your email is right, so if there is a problem I can contact you. Okay, and the rest will be added on here after you entered your details. Your first group partner is there, their name, and the third one, so on and so forth. It's just highlighting as green because those fields are required. I think you have that understanding by now because we've done databases. Now, that is the first thing. That's the booking form. Now, moving on from there, I just would like to actually jump onto the document that I gave you, the assignment. This is on the Blackboard. Now the first page is pretty much standard. We require, it says, a report, in other words, a user guide. You must upload that by the deadline. It says here 11th, but, let me have a look, 11th of April, but please check the portal. Okay, the portal is what you should go by with. It's in the Turnitin area on the portal. Now, you need to upload there your user guide. Do not forget, we started that document. I know you are developing and you can be so much involved in actually designing the work, but you might forget your user guide. If I scroll down here, okay, the assignment, the user guide is actually 15%. And then your project planning is also something that we started a couple of weeks ago, in week 2. And I expected you to actually tidy that up, update it as we go along. And it needs to show dates and your progression. The one on the board is a very simple one. It shows dates for a previous project that we've done. And as long as it shows me your progress, you will be awarded the marks. Okay. Also, it must account for contingencies if you had any, and I'm sure everyone had it because 2 weeks now running we are behind. We're having problems with our relationships in the database, and you need to populate the database. Okay, so that is that one. Going back to the assignment again, I'm going to scroll back up. Please do read the scenario again. I said in the Blackboard, you do not need to worry about the donations. We didn't even consider that because we focused on the actual documentation that the charity provided us, the monitoring forms and the session logs. Now, if I scroll down, okay, your marking criteria is actually gives you everything that you need to make sure that you have. You will start with tables and relationships, and those were, I said to you, the most important part of your development. And we developed them. I'll show you just on the screen. Those are the tables that I've created. Okay, and my relationships are, it looked something like this. Obviously, what we said, this is far from complete. Okay, and I would like you to use your own initiative. You can break these tables down further. But within the given time, this is what we could extract from those documents. Okay, so a relationship diagram similar to this will get you good marks. Okay, but it doesn't mean it's the best design that I'm showing you on the screen. Okay, so going back on to the marking criteria, so tables and relationships, but this also implies I have data in my tables. You can't have an empty database to show me in your presentation. You must add some data. One of the quickest way to add data is, well, you can go onto the database and say, you know what, I'm just going to add data to the clients or the parents, and I start adding them on. Well, this is the child, by the way, sorry, let me open the client. Entering like this, but this might take you a long time. Okay, especially when it comes to the actual assessment if you look at the assessment, for example, post-assessment has areas where we enter memo, like the outcome of the assessments and what the problems are. So we will set those fields quite long text fields. I asked you copy some text from the internet. This is just from a text generator, okay? And the quickest way to do that is, first of all, you might want to, let me close everything, close all. You might want to export, notice export text file, sorry, Excel file, and you post assessment form, and then this will form a template if you exported that document like this. Let's say I want to put that on my desktop, okay, and here we are, export it there. Okay, the export is finished, and I could quickly go back and fill it up in Excel, and hopefully it's there. There we are. Now if you look at it, actually it is exactly in the right format as I've designed my database table. And what happens here, it is that text that I expected you to put in there, and that is quite a long bit of text. Let me show you. Okay, if I could just get there, it's a bit harder. There we are. So this is actually testing that field is set to accommodate longer piece of text, such as reports. Okay, so I would like you to populate it in Excel quickly if you want to work quickly. If you can't do that, you have to enter it by copy and paste and by hand, but you must pay attention to your keys. In the post-assessment, obviously we have a key. We might have two keys depending on your design. What are those keys? Primary key and the foreign key. The foreign keys, actually, there are a few, because there will be the counselor, which will come from the staff, as well as the parent themselves, which will come from the parent table, and approved by, but I asked you just to add a drop-down menu for the approved by. We didn't actually connect it back to the staff. We could, okay, but we said in the form it's only Anne or Roger. Okay, so please make sure this is all filled up to a good standard, otherwise you won't be able to demonstrate your work to me. So this is only the first part. Now I'm going back to assessment here. Okay, I am taking care of the tables and relationships. What about the forms? The forms are, do you have a question? How do you populate it? Like this. Let's say I've got that document, the post-assessment form there. Client ID must be an existing client ID, and I know that because I have already in my database, let me have a look at it. It is it this one? Yes, clients. I have 15 clients, you can see that. So I am in here, I am going to put 11, 10, and then let's say I want to quickly up to 1. So this will now give me a post-assessment for 10 clients in my database. And then I need to populate their assessment, but I said that doesn't have to be meaningful. I just copied all that field all the way down using autofill. You've seen that, how quickly it generates. Then I need to, this is one extra, this will give you problems, so make sure you know what you're doing. Okay, it needs to stop here if you have 10. And then assessing, who has assessed them? I have 5. I said to you, you need to have 10 people. Okay, so you should have those ID numbers, but your ID numbers might be unique to you. Make sure they match. So you go back, where are the ID numbers? I need to have a look at the staff. Here we are. I've got 1, 2, 3, 6. Okay, I could use any one of them. So I'm going to add them into my spreadsheet, just like this. Let's start 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, and then repeat this for the rest of the group. If I hold down control, it's just going to actually double book those counselors. Okay, what happened here? Patient ID number 8 is being seen by my staff number 5. And the computer will actually recognize those and match them up. Remember your relationships? Okay, this data now is not ready to go in yet. I need to say here, okay, true. Let's fill it up very quickly with true for all of them. Okay, and let's say Anne approves every single one of them. Agreed. This is a date, but your computer date might be slightly different. when I did this in MySQL, the date sequence was year, it was beginning with the year, following by the month and the date. Here, I don't think it will give you any problems, but be aware of that when you go back to your date, because remember you're formatting from the database options down here. Let me just show you that quickly. The formatting, I was on the post assessment, and if I went to the design view, okay, look at the date. This date here, check it is formatting. In which format that you're actually importing that in. I think Microsoft will accommodate you for that, but just be aware of that, okay? If there is a problem, go back and make them the same, okay? So I will leave that section now. I'm going to move on to my Excel spreadsheet. I've got false. This means it hasn't been taken to supervision. I need to add one more date here. And then this can be left blank because it hasn't been taken to supervision. Now I will save this very quickly, save this document, and then go back to my Access and close them all. But this was, remember, which one we've done. I exported. I would make a folder to keep a track of all the tables and make sure I keep a track on their names. So I will now import. Okay, external data. This time I'm on the left hand side. Excel, I'm looking for post assessment, and that would be, if I typed it here, I think it will just come up. Yep, post assessment Excel. Open it. It says, do you want to put this in a new table? No, thank you very much. I designed that table. It already exists, and that is my post assessment table. It will agree with one another because I exported it initially, so the structure is the same. And let's say next, here it will say to me the first row, it's already grayed out. It means it knows the actual columns, the fields that we assigned to that table. Next, and finish it. Hopefully there won't be any problems. And be patient with this. If you're having errors here, that's possibly that you named some of the numbers wrong. It says some of it was unable to append. Maybe I made a mistake somewhere, but I will have a look. Now the post assessment, okay, I would expect to see actually that is working. You can see that because it went and fetched the ID numbers and then bring the names of the parents, and Sarah, Eric, and those are the ones that I picked up from my staff table. I only knew their ID numbers, and so on and so forth. This is the quickest way you can actually add data to your database. Now up to here you've only gained, guys, about 10%. Okay, now where do we go from here? I'd like you now use your skills, what you've learned, and design a form. Okay, but forms, as I showed you here on the board, we're going to come back to the forms again. Now design a simple form, and what I like you to do is something like this. Let's say I've got my clients. Now I've designed this with the logo on and try to match the colors. I'm going to show you very quickly. Now if I go to the design view here, okay, the design view, I can do a lot from this view. Let me just close this one, okay? And this is the size of the form. You can actually extend it. And if you made a mistake here, just delete it and do it again. Let's say you designed a lot and there was one like really bigger mistake. Let's say you forgot some of the fields, okay? Let me just delete the postcode there, okay? Let's say I missed the postcode. How do I go back and insert that again? There are other ways of doing this, but the quickest way for you right now is, okay, I'm just going to close this one. Quickest way for you is to go back and create a new clients table. And that would be, okay, clients one, form wizard, here we are. Add everything on, finish it, and this will say client one. And remember which one I removed? Was the postcode, wasn't it? I could copy, it will work perfectly fine. So I just need to take it from here, the postcode. Now control copy, go back to the client and add it where it belongs, control V. Now it's a bit big, but it will work. I don't want to mess up my design here, so I'm going to undo what I've just done. I'm just showing you what you could do if there are problems. But more importantly, what you can do, I like you to do, design a navigation form. And that will look something like this. Let me just go back and undo all this. Okay, that's fine now. And then undo the clients, this one. Close, I don't want to save that one at all. Delete that one. Now what I like you to do, this is something that I've designed over the weekend. By the time you finish with it, it's gonna look, okay, only the form will be visible. Okay, what this form does, it actually books, okay, it records the risk analysis for a factory. I mentioned this last week to you, and over the weekend I've actually done it. And what happens here is you record the factory name by using the menu. That button there actually opens up a new form or new area that you can type in a new company details in. In your case, I like to see something that you enter new parents details. Okay, and then this form here tells us what the topic of the assessment for that factory is, and then right next to it, what area this factory works as. It could be a coffee shop, or it could be a nuclear reactor. Okay, I write it in here and I say, what are the sources of danger? I know you can't read the language, that's Turkish language, but it doesn't matter. We are looking at databases here. It's all about collating the data in one place. And I'll do the same. Once I have these details in my tables, okay, what's going on here? No, I don't want to make any changes. Let's just keep the color scheme and don't show this message. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, once I've done them, here I will select, let's say, this company here, 3212224, okay, requires a new risk assessment. I say the assessment factors are electrical and it affects, okay, the environment, okay, and so on and so forth. And then I assign, I just want to do it very quickly, okay, this is my assessment, it doesn't matter what you put in there, and give it a risk factor. Then you save it. Guess what? Now this is recorded into the relevant table. In your case, I like to see something like this. Your form will write directly into the parent assessment and post-assessment, or the session logs, if you remember. Okay? How'd you do it? Don't worry, this is something totally different. I can't give you the answer. That's why I'm not going back to your project. That's your job to design for me. Okay, this is an example that I like you to design something like this that is a finished product. Okay. It won't say risk analysis in your one. There is no risk analysis in the charity's documentation. Okay, this is just a separate thing. I'm giving you an example. Now, if I clicked on here, okay, that's the symbol for. What is the symbol for? That is a report. What will it open? It says this is it's a question, because I ran a query previously. I'm going to talk about today reports and queries, and I will tie up the whole project. Now in here, I'm going to enter. Remember the company that I was just writing a report for? Their name. Their name was something like this. It doesn't matter. I will run the report. Guess what? This is now a printable document, and I'm ready to print out for the clients. And where would you, in your assignment, use a report? Tell me. Where would you use it? The assessment, when you want to actually print out, let's say you're the counselor, but you're not the person who's assessed the patient. What would you want to do? You want to read their background, so you would produce a report per parent. How do you do that? Let me show you. Okay? Now that is what we need to learn today. I will come back to the forms I said. Please do not worry about the forms. I'll come back to it in a moment. Now in my here, where was it? It is this one, in the clients. Now this was a form. I'm going to close all the forms. Okay, I am not going to save anything. And close this one also. Now you'll find I created some queries. Let's create one from scratch. Create a query, use the wizard for the time being, and then use a simple query. If I said OK here, it says to me, hey, you know what is it that you are searching for? It's as simple as, I am searching for, okay, what was it I was searching for? Clients, isn't it? I will add the client ID, I will add name and surname, but actually our search doesn't require client's address, does it? I said I'm interested in the post-assessment or the assessment. Let's keep it short. Let's have a look at the assessment for the demonstration's sake. But you could add more. Right now, notice here on the right-hand side where my mouse is, it says client ID, name and surname. Those will be added to my query. Query, what does query mean? I am searching, asking a question, right? So, okay, now I say, you know what? I want to see the post-assessment, okay? And I will add from here the actual assessment itself. I don't need the client anymore, okay? I need the assessing counselor, and I need who is agreed to it. That would be Anne and Roger, that one there. This might be enough for me for now. Now let's have a look at it, okay? Finish it, okay? Query, you can change the name, give it a more meaningful one. I just want to finish it off now, okay? Guess what? It now shows me all the clients with a post-assessment. Remember, I've just imported data, and that field here, my ipsum lorem field, you can see. Now this is not very useful by itself, but what I like you to do is this. Go back to the design view, and instead of showing everyone in the name and the surname, okay, I like you to add something like this. It's a square bracket. You say enter, or just say please be kind, please enter, okay, parent name, okay, and then close that bracket and run this query. I think I had someone called Tom in my, I just saw one, so I'm going to type Tom. Guess what? Now it will only bring Tom's previous assessments to us. What did I do? I just actually entered a square bracket and wrote a message in there. It pops up, gives you the interface. Now, as it is, it's not very useful. But how can you use this one? I like you to turn this into a report. Okay? So remember the name. This is called client query 1. I'm just going to close this one for now. Okay? Close it. And say yes. Okay? Go to create report wizard. And from there, you simply need to select the query. Which one was it I've just done? Query 1, isn't it? Client query 1. Add all the fields similarly. Next. Okay, have a look at it. Now it's grouping by the client name and surname. This is exactly what I want. Okay, and it's going to ask me who you're looking for and bring all the assessments down. Okay, if I said next, it's going to ask me more questions. Please go, like you can change the grouping levels, etc. But right now, just do one with a simple grouping. And then you go next. Okay, put it in the ascending order. But here, actually, you don't need to worry about that. Our assessment will be only one, most likely. Okay, if you're expecting loads of assessments, then you would put it in the ascending order or descending order. Okay, I'm going to leave that blank. Next, here I could finish this off, and I will give it a name. This is the assessment, client assessments, and now it's asking me the same question because it's linked to the query that I've created just a moment ago. Now let's say Tom again, because Tom had 2 assessments. Guess what? It's okay, but it's not really great. Some of the information is missed out. Okay, I'm going to give you this. You don't have to record it. It will be uploaded to the Blackboard. Don't worry about it. I think you'll have a better sort of view. I'm recording it quite high quality. It should be okay. Now, what happened here? It is not fitting in. That's why I said you must have data. You can't just show me a report with nothing in it. Okay? So how do I adjust this? I need to go on to close the print view. And then here, design view. I am immediately on the design view. Notice the first area at the top here, this is the header. I can write a more meaningful, okay, a meaningful title or name, okay. Oh, I'm not typing very well today. Meaningful, I think. Oops. Anyway, meaningful title. I'm not going to worry about that. Here, name and surname. Guess what? What is the difference between that one and this one? This one, guys, where it says header, it's a label. It means that doesn't change at all. It just says what it says inside it. Whereas the one underneath it actually retrieves the data from my database. So how do I use it? I can actually take them anywhere in that field and redesign my form. So let's say post-assessment needed to be, let me just close this one. This needed to be a little bit bigger, isn't that right? Okay, and these are very, very big as well. So what I'll do, I hold down control key so they don't actually go out of tune with one another. I'll move it that way, and then I'll do the same here. Okay, and I will push it that way. You could also use your keyboard right left arrows, okay, and then you will push that to one side. Okay, here we go. And client ID is not readable. Do I really need it there? I don't think I do actually. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take it up to here. I can't actually do that. I need to cut and paste it, or one at a time. Let's do it one at a time. Control X and then put it there. Control V and then position it on somewhere on the header. Okay, client ID, and make sure that's visible. And then take this bit there and put it up here. Okay, Control V and then put it right next to it so they align. And now I have more space. Okay, push it that way. Now I can extend this post-assessment to the right place. Here we are. And the rest can be adjusted the same. But the difference is, guys, okay, when you look, Tom, now, I have the first assessment at the top. This obviously needs adjusting. I didn't adjust the counselor yet, but you can see what it is doing. Any questions up to here? Okay, good. That means we have a lot of work to do still. Now, I like to show you the last bit, and that is the form. The forms, very handy, and I said your final finished product will be just the form itself. You are going to hide the tables, hide all this stuff. How do you do that? Now, you go and design a powerful navigation menu. How do you do it? Like this. Okay, and I'm going to talk about these aspects here. I just wanted to highlight it here. Notice that area that here at the top, report design tools. It is the same in the form. So I will only show you in the form. I would imagine that you will apply it in your report design as well. Okay, so now if I close this, okay, let me just close this one, close all. Okay, I'm going to save it. Now go and open up a form. Let's say client form. Now in my clients area, the design view, notice I have my buttons. Let's add a navigation menu very, very quickly. Okay, now what do I do? You know what, like when I'm on the design view, notice this button here? I click on it and then draw one. It doesn't matter where I draw that. That's what you were doing early on, but I'm going to show you very quickly how easy that bit is. Record navigation, and I could add, let's say, go to the first record, say finish. Notice that that is a universal symbol for the first record. Now I'm going to do it again, and this time I'm going to say I don't care where I draw it, I'm just clicking on, okay, go to the last record, finish it, okay, and then one more, okay, but make sure this other one is in the middle, okay, like that. This one will be go to the previous one, obviously, because I'm going backwards, and then one more right in the middle there, okay. I will say this one will go to the next record and finish it. That looks like a navigation menu. Also, what I could do here is add, and the add, where's my add? Here we go. Let me just add that in here. That would be in record operations, add new record, finish it. Okay, here we are. And then I would say also add new record, and save also is standard, so we're going to put a save button as well. That would be save record and finish it. Guess what? They are all looking funny at the moment, right? I just need to select them, okay? Select them and look at the top. It says arrange, right? I have this tabular or stacked views. If I put tabular, it's going to do that for me very neatly, and I mean I just want to put it in the same place. In fact, I want to make them the same color, so I could go on to the design and I could actually change their colors from here. Okay, but those are the minor things. It must look neat on the screen. Now I've done that, guess what? Let's say I'm not happy with the size of something there. Okay, let's say I am not happy with the size of these. Okay, Now what do? I am going to get the one of them, okay, or two of them. Let's say this one and this one. I'm using Control key, by the way, to select more than one item. When it goes like that, up, I could actually extend them. It will extend, okay, the bottom ones, but right now there is a shift between the sizes. What do? You just need to go on Format here. Actually, this is disabled because I put them in the arrange order. But if you were doing it like, let's say, where should I show you this? Give you another example, because what I'm trying to get to is this spacing here. Okay, let's try it with this one. Okay, yes, spacing is available. Now it says to the tallest size. If one of the button was the size that I want for all of them, I could set one of them to a larger size, select the rest of them, and hit to the tallest size. And it will then figure it all out for you and get everything else the same size. So you shouldn't be spending hours and hours like you were doing, okay, trying to design. It will drive you mad. Okay, use the tools that's provided. It requires a little bit more in-depth knowledge. But as you can see, I mean, I always said, it's not a toy. It's a powerful business tool. I like you to learn this well. And next term, we'll complement it with SQL, and we will show you at enterprise level. So any problems up to here? Okay? You choose the tools that you need. I don't need to go through every single one of them. Then we'll be here all day. I need you to do work. So far, I've shown you one query. Okay? You must do in your assignment. Let's go back to assignment. Okay? It says forms, queries, and reports. Are they singular or plural? Plural. They are. That indicates more than one. So please make sure you have two of each. Okay? And I like you to finish that by the end of today. Just to give you a flavor of the VBA code. And if you don't have time, I might scrap this because it's only 10 marks. I will show you it, but it requires a deeper understanding, and it will look something like this. Now that is my VBA code. It actually authenticates the users looking up a user table. Okay? But that is, you don't need to worry about that today. I'm just showing you, so you need to hurry up and finish the rest of the the work and the documentation, so we are in line with our program. Okay? So going back, let me just close this one. I have right here, the last thing that I wanted to show you guys is this. Now, I'm going to exit this program for a minute. I will start it again. Okay? Remember what's happening on that actual screen. Okay? I have a navigation menu. They are very easy to do. Once you created your forms individually, okay, let's go back to here, and let's say I'm going to close this one, close and save, yes. Okay? Once you created them individually, okay, you will create a navigation menu for me. And how do you do that? You will do it like this. Actually, before I do that, I forgot something. I'll just show you it. Let's say I don't want to create these buttons for every form, but they are standard. What I do, I will open, for example, the child. Okay, here we are. It's not connected at the moment, but don't worry about it. It's just for demonstration purposes. I copy this. Okay, go to child and design view. Scroll down. Make sure there is enough space at the bottom here, and then paste it in there. It will work absolutely fine for the child, and it will show you. Let me see. Okay, here we are. Now it's navigating, but I haven't got enough childs recorded there, that's why. But it works. Your navigation menu works for other forms as well. So you don't need to go and keep designing more and more and more. Okay? And last thing, okay, close all and save. Last thing is, I would like a navigation menu. A horizontal is pretty much standard. Do whatever like works for you. Here, it says navigation menu. You will change that name obviously to a more appropriate one. But the area that you need to focus is this area here. And it will accept a client. Here we are. It will accept a child. Okay. It will accept a profile. Okay. So on and so forth. Now you have your navigation menu. You're nearly done. Any questions? That's easy. Well, I try to make this as easy as possible. Okay, now I like to see your work. Okay. Any questions, guys, on your work? This is. I'm going to repeat it next week with added material on, but I will upload this video onto the Blackboard. So if you have a problem, you go back and visit it. Maybe I made a few typos, and when I'm speaking, there might be some errors, but please use the video to help you with your coursework. Yes? You make them up. There is a place on the internet. If you search name generator, it will give you a random list of names. You just put them in. Or my solution was I actually wrote in my Excel spreadsheet first name 1, first name 2, first name 3, meaning they're all different people, just to add some data so I can demonstrate my database. Any other questions? Excellent. Okay, well, that's it for now. I hope the video will help you to achieve a better grade, and I will be providing another one soon. Good luck.